today we're reviewing Artsaber's Darksaber. Let's get started. As you can see, the box comes with a really nice clean finish. It's pretty cool. It's got "May the Force be with you" written on it. The best part about this case is it comes with its own locking system. You just pull this lever to the side, each side, and it will snap open. This will let us, just quite simply, open the case. So as you can see, it comes compartmentalized, which I really appreciate because it's just so organized and easy to look at. So first up is the hilt. I really like the hilt because it's got a nice weight to it. It feels good in your hands, and it definitely feels like if I were to swing the Darksaber around, it would be able to handle the power that's involved. It seems pretty screen accurate to me at first look. I mean, I am very happy just with the weight in my hands. Something really important to note just about the saber, I really like the button placement. This is where you're gonna ignite the saber. And then down here, this little part pops off. I unscrewed it earlier just so that for the sake of the video you can see. It just will come right off after you unscrew on the side here. There's a little screw that is in here and I unscrewed already just to show you. So once you unscrew this little thing, you take it out and then you're able to pull out the battery. You don't even need to pull it out very far because as you see here at the end, the USB-C port is where you charge it. So all you have to do is pop this out and pop it back on in order to charge it. Oh, and it turned on. As you can tell, it's got some volume to it, which I love. I love when you can make an impact with sound. It's something that I value a lot, especially with, you know, the cosplays I take very seriously. Because why just limit yourself to just visuals when you can add audio as well? Another key thing to note about taking this little bottom of the hilt off is this is how you access the micro SD card. So once you unscrew it, you're able to pull this on out, and you can actually just take out the whole battery if you want. You don't want to bring the hilt around to go charge or lay wherever you may need it. But the micro SD is right here. And what you're able to do with this is you can pop it out. I recommend using a pair of tweezers just because I don't like putting my fingers all over the electronics. And you can pop it in here. And what this is a micro SD USB reader. So you pop the micro SD card into here, plug it into your PC, and you're able to access all the files on this little blue SD card. What that allows you to do is edit what are called sound fonts. Sound fonts change everything about how the saber works. It changes everything from how it swings, to its color, to the sounds it makes, everything involved. It's really cool. You can even upload soundtracks that you can use motion controls with to change everything about the saber. It's ridiculously customizable, which is really my favorite part about this type of saber. I don't need the hilt on anymore, so I'm gonna go ahead and just take the little screw and you pop it right back into this little slot on the side. And then you can use your tool that you have and just screw it in. Everything goes in very easily. You shouldn't need to force anything. Everything is very custom fit. The one important thing to mention is on the actual hilt, before you can access the USB charger, there's this little screw on the end that you need to unscrew using the little hex key. It's really easy. Again, make sure you're not trying to force anything. This stuff can be a little fragile. And once you have it off and need to put it back on, you can just screw it on really easily. With this specific saber, the hex key is going to be your best friend and it fits most of the screws. So again, I'm just screwing this in to finally lock it back into place after charging, which is really easy. To charge this, all you need to do is they give you a USB-C cable. To charge it, they give you a USB-A to a USB-C cable. The small end, the USB-C, goes into the saber after you take it out. It's really easy to charge and you'll know you did it right because when you power it on or first plug it in, it'll say out loud, charging, and in a very loud, clear voice, which is always good because I want to make sure that I'm doing something right, and I like that there's confirmations pretty much with everything involved with this. That's honestly one of my favorite parts about Artsaber as a brand is everything has a really good audio cue, as you can hear. Which I love because it just adds to the environment. As you can hear, it's nice and loud and it's awesome. And you'll know you've charged it if it turns on. And if it doesn't turn on, that usually means maybe the battery's not charged enough. So I'd recommend reading the instructions and charging it for the allotted time depending on the saber you get from Artsaber. I know this one I left it charging for like an hour and a half, so it should have a lot of juice in it. And everything should feel very secure after putting it back in. If anything's wobbly at all, that means you need to tighten a screw or maybe you have a piece backwards or did something wrong. So it's a good idea to take it apart and just see how everything works and really pay attention the first time you do it. I honestly highly recommend recording yourself doing it. That way you can watch yourself take it apart and assemble it once again when you need to. So in this bag are gonna come very, very tiny little screws that fit at the top of the saber in these holes. The holes are on each side and you just drop them in, and it's really important to make sure that the side that the hex wrench fits into is facing out when you drop in the little screw. And the whole purpose of that is when you get the blade, which, let's see how the blade feels. Very large, which I personally enjoy. I want to feel powerful, and I mean, a big blade is going to make me feel that way. And it's just so cool to me. I mean, the detail is really nice. As you can see, it's extremely high quality. I'm really excited to see how it lights up. But what you do is you can see that there's this little black bar and white portion. This entire white portion should be hidden. And even on the blade, you can see there's these little markers, and you line these little markers on each side up with these holes. That is what they are meant to do. So I'm gonna drop it in this way. And as I can see, there's a little bit of white showing. So that means I did it incorrectly. So all I do is take it out, flip it, and drop it in. And all of the white part disappeared. That means I did it the right way. I highly recommend dropping the little screws in here and tightening them just a little bit so that when the Darksaber is actually dropped in, all you do is stick the hex key in and just tighten. Tighten until you feel it tight. What this is gonna do is make sure that the blade doesn't wobble. It's really important to make sure that you do both sides, otherwise, you know, you could be swinging this thing around and it go flying. So let's make sure you secure everything down. That's like a really big part of this process. And I'm gonna make sure to do both sides, and just really, you don't wanna over crank, you know, just a decent amount to make sure that it's not gonna wobble. I wanna be able to grab this and have it not fall out of my hand, and it's not wobbling back and forth if I'm swinging this around. Next up is the actual ignition test. Enjoy my little green lighting, but as you see, there's a lot of ways to turn it on. The best way that I like to do, there's motion controls, but I just like the old-fashioned buttons, just because it's very beginner friendly, and for a review, that just seems like the way to show you. So to ignite the saber, there's a few ways. There's motion controls, which are described in the booklet, and as well as the button controls. I'm gonna start with the button controls because they are extremely simple. The first thing you do is you just tap the button. And it ignites. You just saw how much this illuminates, and you can hear it too. Look at this thing. This is so cool. And when you tap it, it's like a blaster noise, which is really awesome in my opinion. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the volume down a little bit, and how you turn the volume down is you press it down for 0.5 seconds, and the volume goes low, just so that you can hear me during this, just so you can hear me during the review. So I'm gonna ignite it once again, and as you can see, it's a lot quieter. I mean, obviously there's also a mute option, so there's high, low, and mute. The low option is still audible to me, but I mean, the entire house isn't gonna hear it, which is good for this case. So to ignite with motion controls, what you're gonna wanna do is face the blade down, and you don't even need to press the button. You just ignite it by pushing it forward and it just pushing forward. So just this straight stabbing motion down, and it'll ignite. And if you want to retract the blade, what you do is you point it down and rotate it to the right, and it'll come back up. So when you turn it off, there's a lot of options, even just sitting here. So you can press and hold, and you can see, you heard it say the count, which means it's announcing the name of the sound font. Again, this is all extremely customizable. You can record your voice and even replace the files if you wanted, and make yourself yell when you swing it around if you want. Or, you know, maybe you wanted to name one bubblegum and make it pink. Whatever you want to do, it's really easy. I'll probably make a tutorial on it. Anyway, so now it's the count, and everything should change. The color should be different, the sound should be different, and there's a lot to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and ignite it just the standard way with the blade. The count, that sounds evil to me. And it is. A nice Sith red, which is exactly what we like to see. And again, if you ignite it this way, you can still, with motion controls, turn it off by rotating it down, which is awesome. Another really cool thing is, let's ignite it, and when you're facing it up, it also works, which is really nice. It's just this nice twisting motion, and you can twist it on as well. Another really cool thing that you can do is when you tap the button on any sound font, there's always blaster noises. Obviously this is more mimicking an actual lightsaber than the dark sword, but that's cool. You have options, and you can customize everything about this if you learn about the sound fonts, which I highly encourage if you're getting this saber to look into. When the saber is off, you're able to change the actual effect the blade has. There's candy blades, rainbow blades, unstable. Let me show you. So you hold it for 2 seconds and then let go. 1, 2, and as you heard, it said pulse. So now when I ignite this, it should have a different effect. As you see, a rainbow blade is exactly that, and there's a lot of different ones too. So I'll change it again one more time. You hold it for 2 seconds. 1, 2, candy blade. Now let's ignite it. As you can see, it's a candy blade. How cool is that? And this thing just has so many different options. When you hold the button down and rotate the saber, it's called the Codex of Light, and you'll be able to change the color as you rotate it. All I'm doing is holding the button down and rotating my list, and I'm kind of going through the rainbow. Obviously, this is really nice because you're able to fine tune what color you want. Let's see, an OC you want, whatever it may be. I wanted to stop in this light blue color just because 1, I think it looks nice on camera. 2, I just love the color. And 3, it's just so freaking cool. Overall, I really like this thing. It's awesome. It feels great in my hands. I obviously have a Mandalorian cosplay that I cannot wait to shoot in it with this. And this is literally the perfect prop. I feel like it's safe waving around. It's very responsive. I have it off, that's why it's not turning on. But it's great. I think it's worth the money in my opinion. Yeah, I would recommend it. The only downsides are if you don't read the directions, which I highly encourage, it can be very confusing. So please, please, please listen to what I said or read the directions, or else you're not gonna know how to use this. This is not your average, lightsaber. This is awesome. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this review. Please drop any questions you have in the comments. I will be happy to answer them. I'm sure Artsaber will be looking to and can answer any questions you have. If I don't know, they will. I am I just got this thing and just unboxed it, and I'm very, very happy with it. It comes really nicely packaged. It's not gonna get damaged during shipping, which I really appreciate. As you can see, they even have the little, I didn't even take them off yet. There's little paper on the corners to make sure the corners don't get stuffed in the box. Which is amazing. It comes all really nicely wrapped. I didn't want to waste your guys' time to show you just the wrapping and wanted to get to the good stuff. But I really genuinely like this thing, and if you get it, let me know what you think. I think it's cool. I think it's awesome. I like their other products too, and they've done me no wrong. So I'm very happy to just show it off and say I can stand by the product. It's freaking awesome. Other than that, I really appreciate you watching. I am excited to let me know what you think. Other than that, I love you all. I hope you have a good rest of your day, your morning, your night, wherever you are. The Dark Saber is pretty cool, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.